Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today what I'm going to be doing is kind of playing with some blue eyeshadow. So I'm going to be doing a mostly blue look. I'm saying mostly because I do already have a transition shade down. It's just kind of a orangey warm toned brown. I didn't have any kind of lighter blues to really do a nice transition shade on my eyes. So all I did for that is I just took this flat brush here, kind of just put the color into my crease and blended it out with this big fluffy brush. I just kind of flicked it up a little bit to kind of give the look a little bit of a blown out look. So this is way out of my comfort zone. I've never played with blue eyeshadow before. I've done purple, green, orange. That doesn't really scare me, but blue, for some reason, it's a little scary. I'm a little bit nervous. So I guess let's just kind of jump right in before I lose my nerve. So first I'm gonna take just this bluish silver shade right here. It's from the My Little Pony palette from ColourPop. I'm just going to kind of start from the inside and work my way out to the darker colors. So for this shade, I'm just going to take this little brush here. It's a Luxie 141 mini round brush. I'm just going to dip into that bluish silver shade and start from my inner corner, and we're going to work our way out. Do the same thing to the other eye. We're just going to kind of do both eyes at once today. Okay, so now that we have that nice bluish silver shade down, I don't really have any other blues besides this really dark one in here, so I'm going to move on to my next palette. So the next lightest shade that I have is actually from the Jaclyn Cosmetics Morphe palette here. I am going to take just this shade because it's more blue. This is more of a teal color. And I am just going to take it on this e.l.f. crease brush here, another just a little round brush, and kind of really dip lightly into that shade. Just so we don't have too dark of a transition there. And of course, always tap off your brush to get rid of the excess so it doesn't go all over your eyes and underneath. Just keep doing that until you get to the shade that you really want. You can always add more eyeshadow, but it's really, really difficult to take it away and make it lighter. Okay, so I'm going to dip into that first silver shade that we had again. I'm just kind of going to blend the two shades that I have down together, because we really don't want any harsh lines. And for this kind of look, because we really don't want those harsh lines, you're going to be going back and forth a lot between colors. So don't be afraid to pick up the same color more than once, because it's gonna look better if you just take your time with it rather than try to rush this kind of look along. Okay, so once you get those first two shades kind of how you want them to look, I'm going to go back in with this brush here and kind of just smooth things out. But once you get those first two colors kind of how you want to look, you can definitely move on to the next shade if you need to. Don't worry about going back. But I have this Pure BoxyCharm palette here. I'm just going to take this blue right here. Now this color I do know is going to be mostly covered up once the look is finished, but it's always nice to have just kind of a transition type of color in there. So I'm just going to start kind of right where this ends here, kind of just put it down. It's just a little bit darker than the last color that we were using. Okay, so there's just this nice little gradient going on here. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. Now my other eye, just to let you guys know, is a lot more hooded and kind of wrinkly, I guess, than my other eye, so it does take a lot more time to get it the way I want it, and it doesn't like to take color very easily, so sometimes that just happens where one eye is going to go perfectly and just you're gonna have this nice seamless gradient, and then the other one's just, it's just not gonna work for you, and that's okay. Just takes a little bit more time. I'm gonna go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette and take that same shade that we had there before. Again, this is the kind of going back and forth with colors portion. And we're kind of just melting the two colors together. Okay. So now we have just a nice little gradient there. So the next one, this is going to be the darkest color that we're going to use. Kind of stuck between a couple different colors. So I guess we'll see. I think because this is a little bit more of a kind of greenish blue look so far, I am going to dip into the Alamar Cosmetics palette, and I'm just going to take this darkest color here, Verado, probably butchered that, but hey. So I am going to take it, I'm going to take it on this brush right here, the Luxie 131 mini angled brush, and I'm just going to dip the very corner of my brush in very lightly. This is a very pigmented palette. Okay, just of course dust off that extra, and we're gonna kind of just pat it in. Don't drag it, but pat in that darkest color. Now all these shades that I use are shimmer shades, so they are a little bit harder to work with than matte. Just wanted to warn you guys, if you wanted to use the same palettes that I am, shimmers are a little bit harder to work with, especially when you're trying to create a nice gradient. So just take your time with it. None of us are perfect. I have literally tried to do makeup looks 4 times before I got it just the way I want it. So this probably isn't the look for you to try to do if you're really in a hurry. just because it's really a pain to start over, especially with brighter colors like this. So I'm going to take this shade again. We're just going to, again, kind of melt those two colors together. Okay, so now I really do like this look, but I do want to kind of deepen up the crease a little bit more. The crease is kind of getting lost with the blue. So I am going to go into the Jaclyn Hill palette again. I'm just going to take the vintage brush. It is the brush For the Money. And I am going to dip into the shade again. This is the same color I used in the crease before. I just used a lot lighter hand than I'm going to be using now. And kind of just very lightly. Again, you can always put more on, but you really, at this point, can't take away unless you want to redo your entire look. So I'm going to lightly just line right above where I put that blue down. So it's just creating a little bit darker of a crease there. Okay, so just deepen that crease up just a little bit. Now you could leave it like this, but apparently I want to punish myself today. So I am going to take a one step deeper color. I'll take it on just the same brush that I was using before. And I'm going to dip into this color right here. It's right under the one I was using. And very, very lightly dip in. I'm kind of going to get a little bit off on my hand here. Now that I'm doing this, it does look a little bit darker than I want it. So I'm going to kind of mix the two colors. Dust it off. It creates a little bit brighter of a color. And then again, just very lightly kind of stamp that color above there. At this point, I'm not really worried about the blending of it because it's just barely a step darker than we were using before. Just creates a nice little barrier. Okay, just a little bit more. Because why not, right? This time I am dragging it. Creates a little bit of a blend, but not too much. So yeah, that's pretty good. So I just wanted to deepen up that crease a little bit more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of do the same thing on my lower lash line. I'm going to start with that silver color that we had before. This one right here from the My Little Pony palette. I'm just going to kind of dip in there with this little precision brush here and just kind of stamp it on my lower lash line and kind of into the inner corner. Especially for the lower lash line, please get rid of that excess, otherwise you're gonna be mad at yourself later, especially if you already have your full face of makeup on like I do. Okay, so we got that one done. I'm just gonna take the same brush because it's not really gonna make too much of a difference if you use the same brush at this point. Okay, and then I'm gonna take it right next to that one kind of just pat it. Now I'm not taking it as far in as I did before, because for the lower lash lines, this might be a personal preference, but I really like my lower lash line to be darker. I'm going to take another brush here. It's just another kind of precision brush. I'm going to dip back into that color Mia that we used from the Pure palette and continue stamping along the lower lash line. Okay, I'm going to bring it just up to right here. And the rest of it is going to be the darkest color that we use from the Alamar palette. Again, just using stamping motions. Okay, so now that we have those colors laid down, I do want to smoke this out just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let's take this brown brush again, and I'm going to dip into this orangish shade here that I use for my crease. Just get all the extra product off and kind of just run it across there. I'm just sticking it to the outer edge of my eye. Just to kind of tie everything together. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just line up my lower lash line because we have a lot going up on top. I'm just sticking this right into the waterline here. Again, doesn't need to be perfect. Just gonna throw some mascara on and the look will be done. I'm just gonna throw some gloss on because we have a lot going on the top of my eyes. We don't really want to distract from their eye look here. Now you could put lashes on here, but I like lashes, but I feel like when I do my eyeshadow, I really want my eyeshadow to have the center show, not my eyelashes. Oh boy. And I just got some mascara on my nose. Cool. So if you ever do that, I do that quite a bit, just let it dry and then get it off with a spoolie or something. If you try to get it off right now, it's just going to smear all over your face. So I'm just going to take this Dominique Lemonade lip gloss. I can't remember exactly which one this is. I think it's peach. That's just kind of a really nice lip so it doesn't distract from the actual eye look. But this is my completed look. Let me know what you think. If you would like more looks like this with different colors, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do it. But thank you so much for watching my video, and if you could like, subscribe, comment down below. All my social medias linked in the description box as well. I would really appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your day.